Good evening, Carla Hartley here. It is April 28th, 2020, and I am coming to you again from my home. Although I am fortunate enough to be allowed to go to work, it does not seem appropriate when so many are not to be broadcasting this from work. So I want to talk tonight about domestic violence and the changes we've seen to the domestic violence statutes. And I want to talk about what we're seeing in our community right now. First of all, the primary point I want to make tonight is that you no longer have to experience violence to obtain a restraining order. This is an incredibly important point, and it's such an important point that you need to know that within the past couple of years, the legislature has changed the name of the Domestic Violence Prevention Act to become the Domestic Abuse Prevention Act, because not all abuse is violence. Some abuse is emotional, psychological, there's all kinds. Some of it is simply physical domination, but it's not violence. And I think people need to know that, and I think this shift with the legislature is very important. So the Domestic Abuse Prevention Act is something to keep in mind. If you think you're in an abusive situation, do not assume that it has to involve you being struck by your partner or harmed physically in some way. This is an important point, and I would like you to get that. The second point I want to make tonight is equally huge. We're being told, and we are seeing an uptick in domestic violence in California and in our county. And many people, and I am sure right now it's just as true as it has ever been, the historical reasons for people not to leave their abusive spouse are often related to a kind of mental ascendancy or a mental dominance that the abuser gets over his or her victim. And we call this, in our firm, we call this phenomena kind of giving your spouse or your partner superpowers. Your spouse doesn't have superpowers, but they have told you for so long how vulnerable you are to them and have bashed your self-esteem for so long that you tend to think they can do whatever they want and you have no chance of help whatsoever. This is not true. This is a form of mental control and manipulation that the abuser exercises because that person knows if you get away from them and get help, that none of that is true. That is how the person controls you, with your fear of getting help, with your fear of the consequences of getting help. We have very good judges in this county. We have a wise judiciary. We have a good family law bar association and many experienced attorneys who regularly practice in these 5 dedicated family law courtrooms. So we know, and our judges know, what to be looking for. And I want to be very, very clear with you. If you are experiencing abuse, call an attorney, call someone who can help you. I promise you that we will know how to guide you through this. And if you're afraid, for instance, one of the primary fears is that you're not going to have enough money, the other side is swearing they'll never support you, the court is not going to let that happen. And if there is a chance that it might happen, you should talk to an attorney, someone who knows and can help you, before just assuming that that is true. I'll have more to say on this subject and some of the reasons people don't leave their abusers in my next issue. But for now, I think that's enough. I hope I reach someone who needs it. Have a good night. Bye-bye.